Hi, my name is Robert Chelle with Chelle Law, and I'm an attorney that assists physician assistants with employment contract and independent contractor agreement issues. Today I'm going to talk about what I do with the physician assistant when we review their employment contract. So first, it might be a little bit different if this is someone's first job as a PA versus them switching jobs to a new opportunity. So I'm just going to go over some of the main components that we would review and then maybe some red flag areas to think about as well. So first, compensation is always a big piece of any kind of review. We would look for, are you just getting a straight base salary? Do you have a hybrid where you're getting a guaranteed base in addition to productivity? If you work in a hospital or healthcare network, usually it'll be an RVU-based productivity model. Whereas if you're in private practice, working in a physician's office, normally they would not use RVUs, they would use net collections, meaning how much the practice receives from your personally performed services, and then you would get a percentage of that. Some places will also do encounter-based bonuses, meaning there's an expectation of how many patients you should see in a day, and that is specialty dependent. But then if you exceed that, and usually they would do it on a monthly or quarterly basis, certainly not daily or weekly, to even it out. And then you would get a certain dollar amount, for every encounter you had over whatever the threshold was. So that's a short kind of understanding of what we would review via compensation. Next would be restrictive covenants. So is there a non-compete? Is there a non-solicit, non-interference clause? What are the things that could prevent you from working or would put restrictions on your practice after the contract ends? These are generally all negotiable. And so we just want to make certain that we aren't setting up the PA for failure. One red flag / note for any PA if you're signing a non-compete is make certain that you are limiting the scope of what you can't do to the specific practice that you're working for. So let me give you an example. Let's say you're working in orthopedics as a either surgical assist, or maybe you're working in an orthopedic clinic. You want the non-compete to say you can't work as a PA in orthopedics, for 1 year and 10 miles from the primary practice location or something like that. As a PA, you can do many different specialties without getting board certified, like a physician would have to be. So you want it to have as many options as you possibly can. And so maybe you're a hospitalist. You want it to say you can't work as a hospitalist for this period of time within this geographic restriction. Therefore, you could do, primary care or urgent care or any other kind of specialty that you want to get into. So that's one note on non-competes. Malpractice coverage. Do you have an occurrence policy? Do you have a claims made policy? Do you have to purchase tail insurance on your own after the contract ends? These are negotiable terms as well. And so you just need to be aware, all right, what's the cost? If I have to pay for the insurance, and then if I have to pay for tail, what can I expect to pay for that as well? So that's something you should be aware of. How to terminate the agreement, how much notice you have to provide. Generally, it's around 60 to 90 days. And then, this is all for an employment agreement. The benefits you're going to receive, health, vision, dental, retirement, life, disability. They're going to pay for your dues and fees. So your license, DEA registration, all of these types of things should be spelled out in the employment agreement. What are your call responsibilities? How much you have to come in? Is it just after hours clinic call? Once again, these are things that you need to be aware of and negotiate in advance. Now, this is completely employment agreements, which are entirely separate from an independent contractor agreement. As an independent contractor, you'll be 1099, no taxes will be taken out of your compensation. Generally, it's for kind of short-term, part-time type stuff, and not a full, like full-time employed position. So if you have any questions about your employment contract or independent contractor agreement, feel free to contact my law firm. at the information listed below in the description. And I appreciate you watching the video. All right, thanks. Take care.